Hey guys, it's me, and I want to talk about Lent. So, Lent started, and that is very apparent by the fact that I look super dark, don't I? I don't know why. But anyway, it's crazy that Lent started because Lent started in our house last night too, because one of our kids was throwing up. All over the place. Girl, all over the place. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about Lent. Hey, Father Ted. So I want to talk a little bit about Lent. Did you read my caption, Father Ted? And you were like, what is that girl saying? You don't have to give something up? Anyway, so what is Lent? Lent is 40 days. It's a little bit more because we don't count the Sundays, where Catholics are reminded that we shouldn't be a slave to our bodies and that we have souls and that we should discipline our bodies. And we do that because God himself died for us and suffered for us. So that's like a little one sentence about what Lent is and why it's important. Okay, so what am I giving up? This is a little something I wanted to talk about. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to tell you what I'm giving up, and then I'm going to tell you why you maybe shouldn't tell people what you're giving up. So I'm real good about like taking my own advice. Okay, one of the things that I've really been struggling with is I'm putting myself out here on this public platform talking about Catholicism, and I am like a baby Catholic who should not be talking about Catholicism. So I have a lot of self-doubt, right? And I talk about that self-doubt a lot, and people compliment me and say nice things just like they do to anybody, right? So they say nice things to you, and when someone compliments us in general, so let's say someone says to you, oh, Casey, you're such a beautiful singer. Like, no one says that to me because I suck at singing. But our first reaction to that is always to deflect, right? Be like, oh no, I'm actually not a good singer. Let me talk. No, don't compliment me. And that is what I'm giving up for Lent. I'm going to give up for Lent. Instead of giving up, I'm going to give up setting the record straight. So I'm going to accept compliments. Let me tell you why. I think we as women, especially, when someone compliments us, we deflect because we don't, for many reasons. But the biggest reason is we don't want the person that complimented us to think that we agree with them because we want to appear humble. And unfortunately for this girl, appearing humble isn't humble at all. Right? And so now you've taken, if you're setting the record straight for someone who compliments you or tells you something positive about yourself, you're taking what could have been a 10-second, hey Diana, you're a really good writer, thank you, and you're turning it into this conversation. And humility, women need to learn this. Humility is not thinking less of yourself. Humility is thinking of yourself less. So if you've taken a 5-second compliment and you've turned it into now a back and forth conversation about your own self, that's not really humble at all. So what I am going to work on doing is when someone gives me a compliment on anything, outwardly I'm only going to say thank you. And inwardly I'm going to say that's all you got. Because it is, right? Anytime that we get complimented on anything, we have those positive things because God gave them to us. So people don't know, but they're complimenting God through us. And so you receive that, you say thank you, you move on from the conversation because if you don't, then you're just dragging it on. And inwardly you say, Lord, that's all you. Thank you for that. It's because of you that I'm a good writer or whatever that looks like. So that's one of the things I'm gonna do for Lent. Another one is I'm going to pray the Litany of Humility daily. That's a beautiful prayer if you don't know it. I would suggest that you look into it because it's just a really great prayer. So don't talk about what you're giving up for Lent, even though Diana just did. Why? I think that we sometimes compare, right? So I look at what like maybe somebody else is doing. So for example, I don't drink Dr. Pepper or Cokes or any of that type of stuff. I drink water, I drink beer, and I drink coffee, right? And so for me, if I were to give up Dr. Pepper, first of all, that wouldn't be a penance at all. But second of all, that wouldn't be hard for me. But maybe there's someone that's watching this that's actually a really hard penance for you. And so I think whenever we compare what I'm giving up to what you're giving up to whatever, we kind of lose the point. We should work on giving up and being penitential about whatever the thing is that's going to actually grow us closer to Christ. And that's And I've seen a lot lately on people saying hey, Darrell, I don't know why I said that. Excuse me. I think that I've seen a lot about people saying that Lent is not a time for self-help. So it's not the time that like you've been like wanting to lose 30 pounds. So you're like, I'm not going to eat meat in order to like lose weight. So I think it's important that whenever we're talking about Lent and we're thinking about Lent, that we're really dialed into whatever our intention is. And that we're focusing on making our penance something that's actually going to grow us in love. That's something that's going to actually bring us closer to Christ, and something that is actually hard for us. So maybe if like you want to lose weight, then you shouldn't like, oh, well, since I want to lose weight, I'll also give up this thing, right? So that's just something to think about. And you don't have to explain it to everybody. You don't have to like go on Facebook Live and tell people what you're giving up and why. That should be something that you do, like Jesus said, like just, go into your inner room, girl, and do it like that. Okay. And then why we shouldn't always give up something for Lent. This is probably why Father Ted logged on, because he was like, that Diana girl just spilling lies. Here's the deal. So I'm also giving up the radio in the morning. So I'm giving up the radio in the mornings. I'm going to be really purposeful about not turning conversations to me whenever they don't need to be. And I'm going to pray the litany of humility. Cool. Last night, my kid threw up, right? And so I'm giving all of these things up. And I was pissed off this morning because Marvin gets to leave the house and I have to be home with the kid that's throwing up and I have all these things to do and blah, blah, blah. And I think a lot of the time we forget to accept the penances that are given to us. You know what I mean? So we're so busy trying to do these outward things that we've already decided that we're going to do, and that's great and that's fine. But probably in these next 40 plus days, there are going to be little crosses that are going to be given to us. There's going to be opportunities for us to either accept it and use it as a penance, or for us to like do like Diana does and kick and scream and rebel against it. So that's one of the things that I'm going to try to be better at, and I wanted to talk to you guys about. During these 40 days, don't just focus on whatever the thing is that you are giving up, or whatever the way is that you're sacrificing parts of yourself to grow closer to God and to really build your faith. Also pay attention to the things that are given to you that you don't have a choice in, like the 7-year-old that throws up in the middle of the night, or the 8-month-old baby that won't let you put her down, or the husband, or whatever that looks like for you. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about a little bit. I was hoping, after I just told you not to discuss what you're giving up for Lent, I was hoping that in the comments, that if you have like if you've read a really good article, or if you came upon something that's really cool that you're giving up for Lent, if you could write in the comments in case someone has not picked what they're going to do for Lent. And I wanted to remind you that March 5th starts the next 7-day challenge. It is a challenge for women, Catholic women, and it would be a good thing to do. It's going to be it'd be a good Lenten thing to do. It's for people who don't pray, don't really believe that they should pray, or think that they should pray but just don't. So if you have a lot of questions, you have always wanted to be a real alive, faithful Christian, but you're just not, and you don't know where to start, then the challenge is a good thing to do. You can find it at dianadivulges.com/challenge. There's a little bit of information, and you can sign up there, and it starts March 5th. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Lent is a time where we remind ourselves that we are not the center of the universe. And that hurts, and it's hard, and it's not supposed to be easy, and Lent is not like... People especially me, I go into Lent and I'm like, oh, I'm so excited to suffer. Like, yay. But you know what? Lent is not supposed to be like the perfect road of the way that we choose to suffer. Lent is supposed to be, we pick something and then we accept all the little crosses that are unexpected that come along the way. And I feel like we forget that part, especially me. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. If you don't know who I am, my name is Diana Valette, and I am a Catholic blogger, and I talk a lot to the people who aren't perfect. The Christians and the Catholic women that are not shiny, that go a couple days without praying, or who don't even know if there is a God at the other end of their prayer. I want to be the place where you can come and say, hey, Diana, I don't really know, I don't understand this whole thing. I don't know if it's true, and what do I do with that? And I want to have a conversation with that, because whenever we as Christian and Catholic women pretend like we have it all together and we just figured everything out, then the people who are really confused, the people that are really just real life Christians, look at us and they say, well, that girl has it all together and she does everything right, so why would I go to her? And I must not even be a Christian, so what's the point? So I want to be a place where we can talk about the hard stuff, where we can say, I don't pray. Sometimes I feel like no one's even listening to my prayers. I'm not even sure that I believe in God. I don't get why we have to go to confession to a priest. Like, we just say the stuff so that we can have the conversation and we can grow. Because if you don't have the conversation, then you can't grow. If you don't admit the problem, then you can't fix the problem. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. If this video blessed you in any way, then share it. And I hope you guys have a good Lent. I hope that you, if nothing else, I hope that you increase your prayer time. And I hope that you really work on being intentional and purposeful at accepting the unexpected penances that are thrown your way. And I hope you pray for me that I'll do the same, because I suck at that. Cool. Talk to you guys later. Bye.